Yo, it's your boy Nemo, and I'm giving you guys a movie review today. Don't normally do movie reviews, but I just felt that I needed to drop one because I just watched She's Gotta Have It, the 2017 version. For those who may be interested in watching it, or thinking about it, or saw it on your Netflix and was like, oh man, it's gonna be good, I will tell you yes, it is good. So just some professional ratings. IMDb gave it about a 6-ish. Rotten Tomatoes gave it about an 8-ish. I'd probably lean more to the Rotten Tomatoes side of things. I have not seen the original version of She's Gotta Have It. It came out in 1986. I was born 87, so by the time I probably grew up, it wasn't as really relevant to me. Even though Spike Lee was very relevant through my 90s, but I just wouldn't have caught that. So to have my 2017 version, that's what I'm going off of. But I have seen that there are some instances where they are relating the original to the new. So for those old school fans, you'll feel like some of those nostalgic memories will definitely pop up for you. What is She's Gotta Have It all about? My take, it's about a young lady named Nola Darling, a young artist in New York City, and she's trying to find herself, trying to juggle life. She's trying to figure out how to make her art work for her. She's a hustler. She's a woman that's free, and she is dating a couple people because she's living her life. And the first thing you got to know if you're talking to Nola is please don't catch feelings. So if you're gonna date Nola, that was the kind of, hey, I'm not really trying to move into a relationship. So she kind of made things clear with 3 guys in particular. Mars, who is the younger character, Latino guy, if hopefully I'm not getting that wrong. Greer, and then you have Jamie. Greer is like a photographer and metrosexual kind of guy. Very into himself, but is really funny. Mars is hilarious, young guy. And then Jamie is married, but kind of going through some kind of divorce. But that's kind of, more into that storyline, which it gets interesting. I will say, if you're watching this around kids, please turn the volume down. There are some scenes of nudity, and there is some cursing, so if that's not your thing, you might want to just skip this one over because you're going to get a lot of that. But for anyone else, I think this was a dope project. I think this was great because it took you back to 80s and 90s, so Spike Lee always has the dope hits, and you don't have to worry about looking through Spotify or trying to Shazam the music. Is going to pop up on your screen, so no worries. There is a Spotify playlist that I will put in the comment section or the bio. It's a dope look at hip-hop and R&B and soul from those eras, from everything from that 70s, 80s, all the way up to kind of some modern stuff today. KRS-One to Souls of Blackness to Frank Sinatra to Solange to SZA. You'll get a great blend of everything then up until now, which is really cool. Very dope soundtrack. I'm trying to think of what else. My take on the movie, as I said, I would probably go in the 8-ish mark. I think it was really dope. I think it touched on things like gentrification, situations within the black female community, or in the community for black women, things like mental health. Obviously it touched on DT, aka Agent Orange. It touched on what was going on for everyday living right now, and I think projects like these are very powerful for where we are. It also kind of digged into some aspects of black men and masculinity and our egos, because me personally, speaking on behalf of myself as a man, I know that my ego has always been attached to thinking that if a woman didn't choose me, there's something wrong with me, as opposed to just realizing that this woman just needs to find herself. And that is the exploration of Nola as she goes through the project, even though she's dating these 3 men and a young lady as well, who she seems to be connected more to the woman than to the other 3 men. So I thought that was not surprising, but interesting. But for me, it's hard to turn off that, oh man, I'm the best guy for you. I'm the one you should be with. You need to be with me because I'm, telling you sweet nothings and spitting poetry at you and quoting lines, and I'm just so deep, and we go on these dope dates. I tend to think as a guy that I personally assumed that that should make me numero uno, super qualified, and if she doesn't date me, what's wrong with me? Who's the other guy? You see that a lot too. Like, while they are messing around, everyone's kind of asking, so who's this other guy? Who's this other person? Who's this other person? And it's interesting to see men, in their feelings. And I think that's a storyline that doesn't always get attention, that this male masculinity, insecurities, all these different things that I think men like myself or maybe others go through. But I think overall, you will like this project. I'm not trying to spoil anything for you. It is a story of a black woman, black queen, finding herself, realizing that she's powerful, going through all kinds of stuff from battling with identity and feminism and like I mentioned before, gentrification and just all these issues that plague us today. So relevant, so needed. Thank you, Spike Lee, for this joint, because this was spot on. Thank you for giving my generation our own version of this movie. I think that filmmakers of the past, and not really of the past, not saying that this person's out of date, but I think filmmakers who have been in the game for a minute, as they remake their films, probably really need to think about pushing their projects maybe to a Netflix platform versus taking it straight into the big theater. I think if you would have taken this into the big theater, you probably would have needed to have certain names, certain faces. I think DeWanda Wise did an amazing job as the lead character. Kudos to this young lady. I've personally never seen her before, but kudos to this. She did phenomenal. She played the mess out of the role. The art direction was amazing. The cinematography was kicking. Like, there were just so many dope parts in this series. And like I said, I thank you for giving our generation a version of this movie, and just thank you. Thank you to any dope black filmmaker out there who is making content that makes us think and question things and makes us reflect on the inside of us and what's going on. I hope men get a lot of value out of this as well, and so we can see some things where we come in with our errors. And so my advice to myself is, Alex, don't come to a woman, especially a strong woman, with my baggage trying to make it look pretty and then holler at her and then hope this all works out. And if a woman tells me we can just mess around and there ain't gonna be nothing else, I think I should have learned in my 30 years of life that I need to run immediately and just focus on me. And if I don't need any more of those kind of situations. I think, men, if you're watching this right now, we don't need any more of those things, especially if we're saying we want wives and we want to do better and we want to settle down. Trying to play that game will lead to you catching feelings, will lead to you getting burned. And we've seen these mistakes happen over and over and over to us as men. I'm sure for women as well. So I think the biggest lesson for me is, don't get into no waters that I can't swim in. So I got a lot out of this, and I hope you guys that watch get a lot out of it too. So that's it for me, your boy Nemo. Some of y'all don't really know me too well, but you can go through whatever you see on the page and tell me how you feel. But for the most part, I just had to jump on and throw you guys this movie review because I thought it was solid. I think Netflix is doing an amazing job with the diversity of what we are watching on their platform, and I think people can definitely get an example from that. Other than that, I saw some reviews. Some people said it's corny, some people said it's outdated, some people think that what they're talking about isn't relevant, but watch it for yourself. So me giving you the good and the bad. Outside of that, man, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'm out. It ain't about me, it's about God. That's how I end all of my videos, so peace.